What is going on, everybody? I hope that you enjoyed your Thursday today. This is MYG Jeffy T 3285, and I'm just here to recap a couple of the news and stories that have gone on around the WWE in the past week or so, heading into Friday Night Smackdown tomorrow night. Now, a couple of the news stories that have happened so far this week. One of the stories that have trickled in. We did see some NXT UK names make their way over to NXT this past Tuesday on Heatwave. Well, this has a lot to do with the news that just broke this afternoon, that the NXT UK brand is officially going on hiatus after the brand officially debuted on October 17, 2018, and the brand has been around for almost 5 years. For the first time in about 5 years, the NXT UK brand is going to be going on hiatus, but for bigger reasons, because in 2023, NXT will officially be launching NXT Europe in the beginning of 2023. So you're going to be able to see stars not just from the UK, but also from France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Greece, all these places in the European countries that are going to be able to be featured in this brand, and also going to be able to see some talents that maybe the WWE has not scouted yet, but they're out there right now trying to recruit other talents from not just the UK, but all over the place in Europe to be able to feature on their show. So you have to wonder how this is going to go, but obviously it's a difficult time for the NXT UK brand. After they had to deal with COVID, there was a lot of shows that had to unfortunately be shut down, not have any fans, and it was very difficult for them to record or tape any of these brands going forward, as it used to be live shows in the UK, but obviously due to the pandemic, they had to shut down a lot of these UK shows, and it was very difficult for the brand to continue to operate. So as it stands right now, the NXT UK brand has officially gone on hiatus. And it unfortunately has to do with the type of news story that's going to come next, as a lot of the NXT UK talents that were part of the roster have officially, unfortunately, been released, or their contracts have not been renewed after this year. And there's stars on the UK brand such as Flash Morgan Webster, Wild Boar, Mark Andrews, Jack Starr, Dan Mastiff, Amale, Ashton Smith, have all been released by NXT UK. And some of the other bigger names that have also been released, the biggest name on the roster, Millie McKenzie, who was a mainstay on the NXT UK brand, her contract was not renewed, as well as some other reported members of the roster like Nina Samuel, Sam Gradwell, Dana Luna, Rohan Raji, The Primate, Shaw Samuels, Kenny Williams, and of course, ring announcer Christy Bosley. All have not had their contracts renewed, or they have had their contracts released. Unfortunately, due to the fact that the NXT UK brand right now is on hiatus, they had no choice but to release a bunch of these talents, and it's a shame because some of these talents were in high-profile feuds going forward, and some of them were going to be ready to be featured on some of these shows as of going forward. So it's a very difficult time for the NXT UK brand, but hopefully once NXT is able to expand their brand into 2023 and develop the NXT Europe brand, that they're going to be able to bring back some of these talents going forward if they're not signed with another company or another brand going forward. So the NXT European brand will officially be launched on 2023, beginning of 2023, but at the moment, the NXT UK brand is officially on hiatus, and they've released at least over 10 to 15 talents on the NXT UK brand that are officially now gone from the company, and you have to wonder when exactly they're going to be coming back to the company, if at all, or unless they sign somewhere else. Now, some of the other news that's just broken today. It seems that Shawn Michaels has gotten a new position in the WWE, as he has officially now been promoted to the Vice President of Talent and Development when it comes to creative. And that means he's pretty much going to be the guy running underneath Triple H when it comes to the talent and being able to develop them in terms of their characters and in terms of giving them good creative direction going forward. So HBK has been starting to help the talent, has been part of the talent development since 2016, before he officially became a trainer of the WWE, including training classes alongside Terry Taylor in the following year. In 2018, though, he started working as a producer and a writer for the NXT brand alongside Triple H, before unfortunately Triple H had to leave the brand temporarily due to an illness that he had to deal with a year ago. Shawn Michaels officially, though, stepped up as the head of creative, though, when Triple H was down from his when he was dealing with his health issues before. So Shawn Michaels has officially been promoted to vice president and head of talent creative. So he's going to be the guy right underneath Triple H when it comes to any type of talent development and creative going forward. So congratulations to Shawn Michaels when it comes to becoming that going forward. Now, Kevin Nash officially, WWE is also going to be, here's another news story that just was released. WWE is officially going to be changing their strategy for big premium live events going forward. So during the Wrestling Observer today, Dave Meltzer pretty much recapped the second quarter earnings when it comes to the WWE, and he noted and he mentioned that Clash at the Castle, which is going to be happening at the Cardiff, due to the city paying for company of the event. And Meltzer said that WWE is going to be trying to change their strategy for major events in the future, and will have tried to have cities bid on other big events, and such as the SummerSlam and the Royal Rumble. So the WWE is going to try to make sure they book some of these larger cities for these big time premium events, so like a Chicago, like a Las Vegas, like a Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Boston, obviously New York, New Jersey area. You know, San Francisco. They're going to try to build some of these bigger earnings going forward. So WWE is obviously going to be trying to go for some of these larger, big scale events when it comes to their bigger scale pay-per-views. And especially in places like Houston, Texas. So if WWE say, hey, wants to have a show in Texas, like Houston or Dallas, which holds about 30,000 to 40,000 tickets for that specific stadium, they're going to get more of their bang for the buck and get more of a revenue share, and they're going to get more when it comes to the money coming in for the WWE going forward. So it's actually a very smart deal that we're going to have going forward for the WWE. So you can understand why WWE is going to want to go for more, bigger, and more importantly, they're going to want to try to get as much of the revenue as they can by expanding their talent, expanding their brand going forward, and getting these bigger cities, getting their bigger cities going forward. So kudos to WWE for that. So they're going to try to go for what's biggest and best going forward. So another thing that's happened before is the WWE, Gunther, officially known as Walter, has officially filed his own trademark for his name, the Ring General, which he's obviously been saying a while, since he's not even just been on the main roster, but especially in NXT, as well as his confidant Ludwig Kaiser has pretty much been preaching this the entire time. When it comes to a guy like Gunther, he's always been called the Ring General. So a guy like Gunther was able to get the trademark for the name, the Ring General, which I think perfectly fits his character going forward, as he has that Ring General type feel, like a leader, a boss. He commands the ring inside, so I think it's a perfect thing for him to trademark. I don't see anybody that would have a problem with it, and for especially a character and the look and the feel that Gunther has right now, not only when he was in NXT, but especially the main roster, it makes too much sense that he would trademark this name going forward for the WWE. So I have no problem with this for Gunther in terms of the WWE going forward, and I think it makes a lot of sense for him, going forward for the WWE. So, and in terms of previewing some of the things that are going to be happening on WWE Smackdown this coming week, it's going to be my final news story of the day. If there's any other news that I miss on this video, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to preview it in the comment section, or I'll make sure to give it to you when the video premieres live tomorrow at noon. Smackdown tomorrow on Friday is going to feature a couple of big segments that are going to be happening, including the continuation of the women's tag team tournament right now, which is going to have the last match in the first round, which is going to feature Zoe Stark, who's coming off, unfortunately, a loss when it came to WWE Heatwave, and she was taking on Mandy Rose for the WWE Women's NXT Championship. So she's going to be teaming up with Nikita Lyons, and they're going to be taking on Sonya Deville and Natalya in the last matchup in the first round going forward. And if they're able to pull off the victory in that, they would be taking on Aaliyah. Whoever wins that matchup is going to be taking on Aaliyah and Raquel Gonzalez in the semifinals on the right side of the bracket for the women's tag team tournament going forward on the SmackDown side of things. And also the big other segment that's going to be happening on SmackDown this coming Friday is that we're going to officially get a face-to-face between Roman Reigns as well as Drew McIntyre, as they're going to be getting ready and continue the build for Clash at the Castle in the Cardiff on September 3rd at 8 o'clock at night. So we're going to have to see what Drew McIntyre is going to have to say, what Roman Reigns is going to have to say, and then obviously you cannot forget what Karrion Kross might have to say about this whole situation, because he's lurking in the background, and you know Karrion Kross is going to be interested to hear what Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre both have to say in terms of their promos that are going to be coming out, how they're going to be going into this matchup coming on the September 3rd. And if anybody missed the matchup between Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre that happened at Survivor Series last year, you guys are going to be in for a treat, because these guys put together a phenomenal match before, and there's no reason to think that they're not going to be able to double it or perhaps even surpass what they did in that previous matchup before. So I'm very interested in what both wrestlers have to say, as well as what Karrion Kross is going to have to say going forward too. Plus, you're going to have to hear what Gunther is going to have to say in terms of who's going to be the next contender for the SmackDown Championship, SmackDown Intercontinental Championship, what Liv Morgan and Shayna Baszler are going to do in terms of their build-up for what their build-up is going to be for the SmackDown Women's Championship that we had into Cardiff in terms of Clash at the Castle, and other news and notes that are going to be happening on SmackDown. But we're very interested in seeing that. But that's just a couple of news and notes that have been happening around the WWE this week. WWE will officially be debuting NXT Europe on the beginning of 2023, but in the meantime, unfortunately, WWE NXT UK is going to be going on hiatus for the rest of the 2022 year, and they've had to release over 15 wrestlers from the NXT UK brand, and there's possibility some more that could be released from that brand going forward. But the hope is that the WWE will be able to bring back some of these wrestlers if they are in fact not signed by anybody else from another company going forward. So we'll have to see what's going to happen with that. A little bit of a preview for WWE SmackDown going forward in terms of the big time segments that are going to be happening, including the continuation of the WWE Women's Tag Team Tournament, as well as what Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns are going to say and do in terms of the build-up for Clash at the Castle on September 3rd. Shawn Michaels has officially been promoted to Vice President of Head of Talent Creative and in terms of talent development. And of course, the WWE looking to expand on their big-time pay-per-view revenues and trying to get bigger arenas than what they've even had before for their biggest pay-per-views like SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and then of course WrestleMania going forward. So I hope everybody enjoys the video. If you do enjoy this video, please hit the like button below in the video. Subscribe if you haven't already to NYG Jeffy T 3285 for more breaking news updates and chatter surrounding the WWE, as well as the New York Giants, Brooklyn Nets, New York Mets, as well as food for thought. And let me know in the comments section what you think about the news and notes that have happened with the WWE, including the fact that NXT Europe is going to be debuting in 2023. What you guys think about the releases that were happening with NXT UK, if you're sad about some of the releases, if you think WWE was wrong with some of the releases that made, or if you think some of these talents could be brought back in the future. What you think about Shawn Michaels' promotion as Vice President of Talent Relations as well as Development going forward, and what you think about SmackDown coming up, and what you liked about Monday Night Raw and NXT Heatwave these past Monday and Tuesday nights. So I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your Thursday night, and I hope everybody enjoys your Friday morning / afternoon. Take it easy, and let's see what WWE has for us tonight on Friday Night Smackdown. So everybody have a great rest of your Friday. Take it easy, and let's see what the WWE has in store for us on SmackDown Friday night.